Afternoon, how are you all doing? Afternoon, Letter. Afternoon, Diarmond. I just can't stay away. I know. It's dangerous, isn't it, this game? Addicted. You need a certain addictive personality to be in this job. Afternoon, Cam. Afternoon, Sancho. Working my new exciting EA. Basically to trade sentiment. So I'm just testing this. I've been programming all morning basically to pull in the sentiment from the website. So ignore the arrows. This is just to let me know that the buy and the sell triggers are firing, which they're not because I haven't set anything. But basically what it does now is it detects which currency you're trading. Let's try one I haven't tried yet. Pound New Zealand. And it goes and gets the current sentiment from the website, which will be Pound New Zealand, 48% long, 52% short, and pulls that into the EA. So we should come back with a, what did I say? 58, 42, 48 long, 52 short. When I've generated the historic file. Afternoon, Sancho, David. In my case, obsessive or obsessive. Yeah, obsessive. I'm getting obsessive. DAX this morning. I made a little bit back on the DAX this morning. I took a short, obviously down here, added to it, stopped out on one, came back down, added, put a trailer on the two that I had on and stopped out for about $50. So literally all we've done is today is that. We've not done anything. So I've lost $50 on it basically, which is nothing. So there we go. 48 long, 52 short. 52 short, 48 long. So basically I have built an EA that can automatically trade sentiment. Good, eh? And it pulls this data in live. So all we need to do now is figure out how we'll enter. So the workings are all there. It's an incredibly complicated EA. It's complicated in the fact that you can do absolutely anything. I call this my new basics EA. So what I've done is I've created an EA that could literally trade any kind of strategy you want. So you can, there's an info panel which gives you info, which this is just giving you everything about your account, trade statistics, all the variables stored by the EA, gives you all the settings automatically, just so everything in here. But basically you can trade long or short. You can have a maximum long or short number of trades. So you can position trade or just say, I don't want to get in one. You can offset your pendings, your break evens. You can use ATR for stops and targets, and you can select the time frame for the ATRs that you want to use. So you can use ADR, for example. If you select that, that is ADR 10. You got a daily profit target. It will close trades automatically for you when you hit it. It will instantly close trades and stop you out at a specific level. You can pick times that you want it to trade. You can ask it to trade it, shut the trades, shut the trades, cancel the pending orders at specific times. You can say, I want to risk a lot size, I want to risk a percentage of my account, or I want to risk some money on this one. I can use a stop loss as a fixed pip, or I can use ATR or ADR as a stop loss. Take profits, fixed pips, ATR, TPs, percentage of stop loss multipliers, percentage of balance. So you can say, when I get to 1%, shut me out. It will trail stops on ATR, pips. You can say when you want it to, it will tighten your stops for you. And it will also do drawdown control. Yeah, and it will do break even. So basically, a lot of the stuff that the ORBEA does, this does everything. But I'm using this as a basis. So this is what I call a basics EA. So now what I can do is take this EA, test any strategy I can find, and by basically changing variables, saying whatever the variables of strategy are, like below RSI 20, go long. So I can basically put a quick line of code in that says, when this condition is met, get me in and test every single combination here and quickly tell me if it's profitable or not, which is great. But the first thing I'm going to do with this is trade sentiment. Live trade it, obviously, because you can't backtest this because there's no backtesting to do, is there? You really physically can't because the data doesn't exist. So, anywho, that's why I'm so busy all the time, because I never stop developing. Right, so this morning, DAX did nothing. Crap, awful. Forget it. Not interested. DAX, you've annoyed me. I'm not playing with you anymore. So the DAX is basically just the duck today. NASDAQ obviously will get an open, which hopefully is a little bit more vibrant than what we had this morning. So all I've done this morning is I lost $100 on the DAX. I made $50 back on the DAX, so I'm $50 net. So nothing. I just haven't done anything today. NASDAQ, we've had a rally today. I was expecting a rally off the NASDAQ today, and I was so tempted today when I saw what was going on was just to go long on this because of Tesla. Obviously, the Tesla came out last night with positive figures. So I'm expecting the NASDAQ to get bought up. I don't know whether they've already done the buying up or not. That's the thing. So this is either going to fly today or it's going to go, I've done my move today and we're not going to get very far. So we'll see what happens today. The 15-minute opening range, pre-15-minute opening range break, it's going to keep moving up and down, is there. So if you are taking that as a strategy, you've just gone long. I don't know if everybody's trading that one today. But that might be a pretty good trade today, getting in long now and just assuming that the Tesla buying is going to go crazy and they're just going to buy Tesla up, in which case the NASDAQ is going to pump today, which is what's happening right now. I need to draw that on properly because that's just going to keep jumping off the top of the chart, isn't it? So there's your 15-minute OR. There. So there's a 1-to-1. Tick. Can't measure this, can I? It's going too fast. I wish I'd have taken this today. I was so busy this morning. I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the EA up quickly to trade this afternoon, because I think this is going to go. And I've been so engrossed in coding this morning, I haven't actually had a chance to set it up. Wish I had. So your risk on this was 22. You're already 27 in profit. 30. Plus 1.5 to 1, isn't it? No brainer. No brainer long. Afternoon, Freeman, Brian. So there's your 5-minute going in anyway. So basically, we'll watch this unfold this morning and see where we go. This afternoon, God, I don't know what time of the day it is. When I get into programming, I literally nothing enters my head apart from coding. I get so obsessed and focused, and then all of a sudden when I snap out of programming mode, it takes ages for my brain to go out of programming mode and back to normal. I think it's my OCD. So I haven't got a clue what time of day it is. Right, so basically nothing's changed for me since this morning. I was in 1.1% drawdown this morning. I'm in 1.5% drawdown now. Nothing's happened. So Aussie, New Zealand, still short. Got 2 positions on this now. I'm literally a gnat's whisker away from break even. I'm 10 pips, less than a quarter of an ADR away from break even on this. So I just need some strength in the New Zealand or the Aussie to drop, one or the other. If we can get an ADR on this today, happy days. That's another % in the bank. CAD Swiss, again, this is what I was expecting to happen. So yesterday I said, if you go back and rewind yourself to yesterday, I said down here, I'm getting out of these because I think we're going to come back up and retest that. I think that's what we've done. So I was expecting that move. So I'm getting in short on the next 5-minute reversal alert. No, I'm not, because it's gone too far and too hard. What's the ADR? 33. So I need to get in 33 pips away from this position. That's only 12. So I'm not going to get in another one. If this comes back down again today, then I'm just going to be in it ever so slightly in drawdown. But that's the move I was expecting this to play today. It's done it. So what I'm hoping now is everybody that entered this sell yesterday is adding into their sells, and we're going to hold this CAD Swiss down. And obviously then we'll drop, attempt a new low, and that's when I'll start making money on it. Afternoon, Luke. So that's, I've still got on Euro Pound. I've just stuck a buy stop in this. I've just realized this position I took it manually. I thought I had the EA. I could have sworn I had the EA set up to take this trade for me. We just got a reversal alert on M5 and it didn't get me in here. So I should be in another long here because the distance was absolutely fine. It was less than 32 pips to my first one up here. More than that, rather. It's 47, 45. And we were extended on the hourly RSI. Sorry, we weren't extended on the hourly RSI. So it didn't take that trade. I just looked and I took this one manually, which is why the EA hasn't entered the second position for me. So I've put a buy stop on there. I'm having to basically manually manage this trade on Euro Pound. So I've just put another buy stop there when I realized I didn't get in because I was like, why? So if this is going to turn into W reversal, I'll get gathered in on the retest basically. Pound US dollar, not changed, not gone anywhere, still in it. This is where I was this morning. So nothing's happened there. New Zealand yen, pretty much where I was this morning. Actually, no, I'm worse off. I'm back to where I was yesterday. So there's the yen has gone mental today. Mentally weak. So the yen in the last hour has basically just given up the ghost and decided, actually, I don't fancy going anywhere today. So we've got some ADRs which have just triggered on the yen pairs. Oh no, it wasn't all yen actually, it was CAD. CAD pairs, look. So CAD yen, ADR, Euro CAD, ADR, will be down there, and US dollar CAD will be down there. So this is the Canadian dollar strength that I was expecting to come through yesterday. It's just a day late, basically. But that doesn't mean that this is going to be maintained, this strength. So news on GDP, all positive, US dollar. So not massive. So we went from a 3.2. We were forecasting a drop of 0.6. We got a drop of 0.3, which is better. It's still a drop. Yeah, so GDP has come down, not quite as much as they were expecting. So it's a positive number, but it's a negative fundamental. So US dollar hasn't really, ignoring the CAD because the CAD pumped. But as you can see, US dollar, if you look at the US dollar Swiss, hasn't really gone anywhere. If you look at Euro, US dollar, not anywhere. So that all that's happened is we've whipsawed off of the news and gone nowhere because it's not really news. It's slightly better than expected, but negative. So it cancels itself out. It's not doing anything. So nothing there really you can act on. Really flat morning until the last hour when we've had some CAD and yen movement. So NASDAQ, if you took the pre-market open, who was it this morning who was talking about the pre-market open? Can't remember who it was. Was it Ladder? Don't know. Someone, whoever was talking about the pre-market open this morning. Well done. You'd have had a 22 on that. You've just made 50. Done for the day, haven't you? That's it. Thank you very much. Off I go. I'm not trading that one though. I'm trading the 15. So I'm waiting. Nothing much has changed anywhere really from this morning. So the ADRs we've got, if we look at the CAD yen, we're coming up to double top. Let's go look at the hourly. We can see what we're doing. So looking at CAD yen, fundamentally, let's look at the CADs because those are the hits. So CAD yen is range bound. There is no sentiment advantage. There's no COT advantage. it's basically mixed bag. So in theory, you can range bound trade this. Yeah. So we're up at the highs at the minute. We're not quite extended on the hourly, although we might be. We're about to, CAD yen is about to trigger on the hourly. Sorry, that's the hourly there, 63. So we're about to trigger on a 70.8. So just about. So you've got this level here, which we are tapping straight into now. So we haven't quite taken out yesterday's high, which is there, and then the previous day's high is there. So this little area of yesterday's high and the previous day's high is basically cash rich. You know, anybody that's shorted there, or there, the whole lot of them, they're all sitting there, aren't they? So I'd be amazed if that didn't do that. Just no reason why you wouldn't take that. We've also got within 150 ADR a propulsion gap for the high of last week. That was Monday, wasn't it? That was the Japanese monetary policy meeting, which they just recovered. So a little push above there, nice little short. It might well go from here, although I'd be, like I say, I'd be surprised if they didn't come and take some liquidity while they're there. It doesn't make much sense, does it? But who knows? So your reversal at the moment is miles away. So the ideal on this one would be push and then another new high, taking out liquidity. And then your reversal alert will jump up onto that candle there. And you'll have a nice tight reversal alert to play it back down. So it will be extended on the hourly. 4 hourly, it's not. So CAD yen looks like a fairly nice short. It's range bound. I'd like shorts on the yen pairs. I'm on New Zealand yen at the moment, so I'm not going to take that myself. But that looks good. Euro CAD. Let me just get the NAS up on my other screen so I don't have to keep flicking over. Lovely rejection up at the highs. So rejected, rejected, rejecting. So that's going to be the 15-minute opening range break. That'll be the high. David, I got an Aussie dollar Swiss, but yesterday per sentiment and a 5-minute reversal and at some lows. I'll have a look at that in a sec. So Euro CAD is the other ADR. Euro CAD range bound, ever so slightly long, but range bound. COT is on side, retail is on side, sentiment is not at the moment. Sorry, fundamentals are not. But Euro CAD, from a COT perspective and a retail perspective, is a massive long. So I like the look of that. I've already got it on, basically. From an exposure perspective, I'm already long Euro and I'm already short CAD. So if I take a Euro CAD long now, all I'm doing is doubling my exposure on something that's currently sitting in drawdown. So I'm not going to take that myself, but that looks really good. Trouble is, you're not going to get a reversal alert on this. Look at that liquidity sweep. Because it's all out there. This has just absolutely collapsed. So just be a bit careful, this Canadian dollar. But this is a long at the moment. So the market is positioned that way. If we have a look at the fund, market's long, obviously. COT is long. Retail is short. So retail at the moment are going, woohoo, I'm making loads of money. If they're not getting out down here, they're going to get stopped out. But what will happen is you'll see if this starts to push back up again, everybody that's short will start exiting their positions and fuel that push. So again, complete recovery. Remember I said yesterday, any of these CADs, you can short all the XXX CADs and you can long all the CAD XXXs. They're all playing out. So, well, they've all played out now. So I like that as a long. If it fails to go from here, this is this week, isn't it? So this is the low of the week out of this. sort of propulsion gap. This is the proper propulsion gap, really. So there is options for them to come all the way down to there. And if that happens, obviously you would get in now and then scale into it, looking for a push up. Nicely extended on the hourly. 4 hourly, you're miles away at the moment. So short term, long. But yeah, really like that EuroCAD as a long. And the other is US dollar CAD. Again, this is one I've been looking for a long on. We are not extended on the RSI yet. So it's not going to get in. I'm not going to get into this yet. We will be extended though on the next candle, which is in 15 minutes. So the RSI will have been extended, which means I will be getting in on that reverse alert. So I'm going to take a US dollar CAD long there. Assuming we get that reversal alert. If it does it now, I'm not getting in. If it does this for 10 minutes and then does that, I will be in. The EA is not going to take a trade when the RSI from the previous candle is not been extended. So that looks good as well. It's already come off of ADR. You've missed it. Such a strong pullback. Look at this. This is like a V-shaped recovery in play to me. So yeah, nice one there. But again, you're not going to get the reverse alert because of the strength of that CAD move. Someone really, really dumped on the CAD there, didn't they? NASDAQ, 15-minute opening range is in. So I'm looking to go short on a break here. I'd much rather go long, but we'll see where the market goes. So that basically that 5-minute candle is completely engulfed the previous 10-minute move to the upside. So I would say this is probably the sentiment at the moment. So we'll see if we can get a decent run out the lows. Aussie dollar Swiss. So you took an Aussie dollar Swiss on sentiment. Long sentiment. No cot on the side. But you have got a bit of fundamental. So depending when you took it, got into a buy yesterday. So you're in profit on this then, I would say, aren't you? So your reversal alert would have been here, that candle. Sorry, there. Yeah, you'd have got in there. So you're in profit. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's basically broken out of the highs. So we basically had that high. These are the areas that I drew on, wasn't it? And we were like, this is either going to pop from here or accumulate and break. We've accumulated, break, pushed, pulled back, bounced, pushing. I would expect a new high to come up. So yeah, like it. Retail are all short, aren't they? So yeah. Retail have been short on this. Flipped short on it basically on the 23rd. Afternoon on the 23rd, we flipped short. Which was there. So market flipped short here. They all started shorting it. So everyone went, oh, M pattern, short it. They pushed, accumulated. They dropped it. Everyone went short, stops. They pushed, saw a pullback, false breakout. Let's go short. Put their stops up there. They pushed. They pushed and pushed and pushed, got rid of a load of people who continuously tried to fade that ADR hit. Then they started coming down. Now there's a load of liquidity up there. Don't see a problem. They're all still short. Massively short. We've got 19% of the market long, which means 81% of the market are short. They're wrong. Yeah, I like it. But it's not particularly strong, is it, at the moment? So depending on where you got in and how much profit you've got two choices. If you want to just protect it and go, I don't care, you can break even it. You're either going to get out of it and go, no losses, or it's going to go and you're going to win anyway, or you just leave it as it is. And if they pull down, yeah, and entice more shorts in, you can get in again, because there's going to be two targets to the upside then. And if when you get in again, if they're all still short, we know there's a good chance they'll probably push it at some point. But you can get stuck the wrong side of sentiment for 2 or 3 days. You know, I've done a little bit of back testing with the results that I've been storing since the 18th of January. I want to get a good month of this stored so I can see it really properly for myself. But I've been doing a bit of back testing with some of this, and there are instances where there's a couple of days where it just either goes nowhere or it goes ever so slightly against you before you get a pop. So, but yeah, it looks good. Looking at the sentiment, oh, wrong one, combined. The only things we've got really are the Euro CAD and New Zealand CAD, which and potentially Euro Yen, who have got caught on side with retail. Other than that, cot is the wrong way on those. Those are two shorts you can take on your own, and those are longs you can take on your own. So you can short those and long those if you're going to use sentiment only. Up to you. Yeah, short on the indices. Nasdaq short. Opening range break of the downside. So targets to the downside on the Nasdaq will be Globex lows, which is there, and yesterday's low, which is 175 ADR away. Highly unlikely. So I would say it's difficult to target today, isn't it? Really, we've had such a strong push out the highs. There's no propulsion gap targets. There's just nothing to aim for today, so it's really tricky to pick a short target on it. I would say if we break this level, if we can get down below there, this is just one steady Globex move before the purchasing started. So I would sort of say anywhere in there really is open space down to the low of the day, which is basically the open. So if you think of what we're painting at the moment as a candlestick, this is where we opened. All we've done all day is push up. We're currently there. So that's what our current daily candle looks like. Your decision is, do I think we're going to end up something like that as a whacking great shooting star? If so, that's where we're going to close, somewhere around here. Or potentially, we're going to break the Globex low and end up as a shooting star like that. But this could just be a false break, obviously. Certainly buying it up, aren't they? I would be surprised if we broke to the downside today, because if you look at the NASDAQ, let's see what the Dow's doing. Yeah, no, the Dow's bearish. Look. So the Dow's just put in new low on the day at the moment. If you look at the NASDAQ from the daily perspective, we had a whacking great hammer going yesterday. Huge bullish rejection. So we tried to go huge bear candle yesterday, and bulls were like, nope. We've had 3 days run up and a total rejection of the lows, and literally run for the hills this morning. So it's so bullish at the minute. Dow, very much the same, but the Dow obviously has had much more room to move to the upside and down. Why is my CPU going mental? One sec. I know. Just hear my GPU is just going crazy for some reason. I don't know why. Obviously doing something. Okay, so we're out of the lows. We just managed to grab that. Look, just literally by a pip or two. So we'll see. I would expect to pull back and retest at some point up in there. So I'd like to see them do it now and then reject it straight away, which gives us a nice run to the downside, but we'll see. Thoughts on Euro Swiss long? We certainly missed the reversal alert. Pot is long. No sentiment at the moment. No advantage either way on the sentiment. So this was the one I was in longing the hell out of it. So this is when I was longing it here, we had sentiment on side, and this is what I mean when I was saying about sometimes you get a couple of days where they give retail what they want, and then they come and grab the lot. So you just have to scale into it basically, and then obviously it flies. But there's no sentiment on side at the moment. They've all scaled out of their positions because they are all shorting the crap out of it. Short, and then they've just been stopped out. They've all now flipped out of those shorts, and we're roughly 50-50 on it. So there's no advantage either way. However, COT is positioned long on Euro Swiss. Yeah. So you want to be taking longs. Nothing wrong with that. Nice sweep of, is that the low of the week? No, that's just Tuesday's low. There's the low of the week where we opened basically. Got level there as well. So if you're in long on this now, if you're getting in long on it now, second position would be down there, although that's not far away, is it? 35, yeah, roughly half an ADR. So you could take a second position at low of the week. You're going to find a load of limit orders sitting at the low of the week, which will help with a push. But I reckon this could make new highs. So like that. Oh, come on, Dow. Let's go. Aussie New Zealand's coming down nicely. Highly likely to use my break even as support. The magic break even line. Pound US dollars coming down. US dollars pushing nicely. Not very convinced by this NASDAQ this afternoon. I am convinced by the Dow, but the Dow's got a lot more downside. Look, yeah, if you look at where the Dow's potentially going to head, which is yesterday's low, you've got this area here. Yeah, so there's a support resistance area there, which is on this propulsion gap, which isn't really a propulsion gap because this is a V-shaped move rather than an accumulation break. But you've got that propulsion gap. So you've got a move pretty much down to ADR, which is clear air. If we can break this low, it's pretty much clear air all the way down. If we can hold this level, that's what they've got to do. If this gets bought up, we might be in a bit of trouble. But there's a good 150 point move to the downside on the Dow if it can hold. Seems to be quite a lot of buying coming in. Any weight behind the London close reversal? Been researching the charts and found it's roughly 50-50. I don't even know what that is. London close reversal. Not heard of that. Yeah, it should pull the NAS. If the Dow goes down, the NAS will come down with it. Oil. We've got an RSI extension on oil on the hourly. You've missed it. There was an RSI extension on oil on the hourly. That's come down already. I don't know what the London close reversal is, but if you want to send me some details on it, I can backtest it with my new EA, because my new EA can backtest any strategy. I can literally code in any strategy within about, the way I've built it, I can literally code a strategy in about 15-20 minutes. And then I can just go backtest it. And with any kind of stop, TP, trail, break-even strategy you can think of. And drawdown control, even better. I can position trade. That's why I've built it, so I can do some really solid back testing on all these strategies, which prove fairly good. If I can turn them into position trading strategies, even better. So, like I was saying this morning, with lots of these strategies, basically, it's about finding ways to eliminate losses rather than trying to find ways to improve entries, which is what most people tend to do. They want to try and get a better entry, but the best thing to do is try and mitigate those losses. And position trading, obviously, will mitigate a lot of those losses. So if you can find a strategy which gets stopped out a lot, but directional basis is quite often right, adding a position trading to it rather than a stop strategy quite often will massively improve it. Any old way to get in, really, doesn't matter, does it? Supposed profit taking from the London session. So what time is that? What time is this strategy proposing that London closes? And is it Forex or is it Indices? 10 a.m. Eastern time. 3 o'clock. We don't close at 3 o'clock in the UK. London closes at 5. So it'd be 12 midday. But I suppose if they're going to start taking profit, they might do that 2 hours earlier. I don't know. I've never heard of it. Never looked into it. So it would be, if it was 3, it would be 5 on my broker, which would be here. I mean, what you'd need to do is at that time, obviously, I guess the idea is you take a reversal, and then if you take a reversal, basically, you would have to backtest and see what is the optimum stop loss to use, and then obviously you would close at end of day, New York. So you'd have to work out what the maximum and average drawdown is from 3 o'clock onwards, which, if you had an EA such as this, would be very easy to test. Because you could use I would use ADR. Probably what I would use is the hourly ADR for the last 10 hours. No, I wouldn't do 10 hours, because if we're closing there, I'd use the last 6 hours, because that would give you the main London session and the New York Open average range by hour, and then start using 1 ATR as a stop and back test from maybe half an ATR in 0.1 increments to 1.5 ATR as a stop, and see if basically which of those gives you the highest strike rate, i.e. doesn't stop you out, and then you just close at end of day. So you would set this to close trades at stop trading time, and you close at 10:30 and cancel all pendings if you're using pendings, and just backtest that and see what happens. I can do that. I haven't got time, but I can do that because I've got a tool. I'm about to get stopped out on the NASDAQ. Had some mean reversion backtesting, but I think it was by coincidence. Yeah, you could use the market reversal alert CA to do that as well. So what you could do is literally that's not the market reversal alert CA. In the market reversal alert CA, you could set the EA to what would you set it to do? What I would do, probably, I think you'll find at that time of day, you would, on the M5 time frame, which is roughly now, yeah, so it would be roughly now, which is 3 o'clock UK time. If RSI is extended on the 5-minute time frame, meaning we've had a good run down, go long on the M5 reversal alerts. And you could use the market reversal alert CA to backtest stop loss positioning. So you could do it with the MRA EA because you have time of day in there. So you could say, I only want to take trades. Where the hell is that? There's so many settings in this one. Time of day's in here somewhere. I can't see it. Hour to start and minute to start. So you could say only trade between, for me, it would be 1500 and 2300. Take M5 reversal alerts long, or any direction, and use the RSI as a filter. So you would use this current time frame on M5 and use maybe 6832. So if we've had a run up for the day, we're likely, when we get the next reversal alert on M5, we likely will have been extended at the time above RSI on the 5-minute, and same down here, but only start monitoring from 3 o'clock. And if there is a reversal alert, highly likely that's going to start that move, if that is a thing. The only downside is you can't close at end of day with the market reverse alerts EA. But what you can do is get out on the opposite alert. So you could say the next, when we get a reverse alert, so get me in long, don't set a TP, get me in long, and next time we reverse alert, get me out. That way you're always going to be in profit, aren't you? Most of the time. So you could use the the market reverse alerts to do that. Nasdaq pulled back. Just basically pull back to my entry. So that's what I was looking for, was that test of the propulsion move, which they have just done. And sellers have stomped back in. So hopefully we are going to get that rally down on the Dow and run down to yesterday's low. But I'd be watching the reversal alert for a retest. Failing that, that is clear space as far as I'm concerned. So if we can get a decent move, I think we'll be in for a good down day today, but it's struggling, really struggling down here. A lot of buyers buying this up all the time. Tough one. US dollar CAD, I'm long. So there's first entry off of ADR. That's a horrible entry, but it's an entry. I'll take it. I'm going to target yesterday's high, just under yesterday's high, which is this propulsion gap, and will be a double top. God, I'm going blind. Okay, so resale sentiment is against COP at the moment. So retail is long US dollar CAD. However, I think you might find a lot of those guys who have been long US dollar CAD have just been liquidated. So I haven't covered the RSIs today. Let's quickly whiz over those. Aussie dollar CAD already played out, missed it. Sorry, that's a 4 hour. It's already played out. Entry was here this morning in Asia. Aussie dollar New Zealand, I'm already in. Whoops, there. So I'm already in on the M5 reverse alert, so I'm in on that one. Short. That's 4 hour RSI extension. So looking for a push back down into propulsion. And it's a hell of a propulsion, that one. Look at that. It's tested once already. So got to watch this level here, the double top. Yeah, looking at this long term, that's what I'm expecting to happen. So we will see, but it's pushed. The market structure on this is kind of, we had that little dip where it looked like we were just about to start a new structure short, and then we've put in a new high. So back into there is the safe trade, because if this is it's difficult to draw the structure on this, but if this is the structure, yeah, it's kind of an extended market structure. That's a safe trade if that happens. But if what we're seeing is just a liquidity run and we're going to put in an uneven M pattern, so M patterns either go like that, they go like that, double top, or they go like that, which is an uneven stop hunt. What we're potentially looking at here is an uneven stop hunt. So like it's short regardless. It's extended, massively extended and embedded. Same as it was here and here. Aussie dollar, US dollar, extended and embedded. Quite a short, retail are very long on that. So we should see, yeah, trouble. This is the trouble with sentiment. You see, COT are short this thing at the moment. Retail are shorting it as well, which means we need to be going long, because retail have been shorting the crap out of this for ages. So it's obviously been going up because it's been taking their liquidity. Until these guys come out of that and stop shorting it, i.e. us needing to go long on it, it's going to struggle to come back down again, I think. We are getting lots of rejection on the NASDAQ. Okay, so Dow's just retesting again. Doesn't look good. This looks bullish. The clues in the Dow here, look. So lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, bull candle. So the bulls were more in control there. Higher high, higher low. Bulls in control again. Lower high, lower low, bears in control. Bulls, double bottom, higher high, bullish engulfing. Twice the size of that move. So there is a lot of buying pressure coming up at this level. The sellers are just completely unable to get through it. And they've just puked, basically, because we put in a new high. So either we need a load of selling pressure to come on in here, or we're going to come back up and potentially retest these highs. So we need to watch this candle on the Dow and just see where the buyers and the sellers are sitting at the minute. But obviously you can see by the NASDAQ it's struggling. I'm out of that short, so I've taken a, I don't know, $5 loss or something. A whole massive $12 of loss. So didn't manage to get out the lows, unfortunately. So I am trading as well the second 15-minute range again. So again, the idea behind this is if the first one fails, I get into the second move, the reversal, obviously the false breakout move, I get into it earlier if we get a false breakout, and then I add as we take the initial breakout. But the danger of this one is, obviously, again, as we saw yesterday, I have my entry long there. And when this candle closes inside this range, I'm going to have my entry short there. So there is a possibility of getting hedged, which is the danger of using these two strategies together. They're all tough ones, yeah. Everything's a tough one. New Zealand dollar yen. I'm short on New Zealand dollar yen at the moment. So New Zealand dollar yen is a really simple sell. It's easier to see on the hourly. So I've got propulsion gap, retest, 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 retest. I'm short. And the current market structure, basically off of that double top, is a reversal alert, a retest of the reversal alert, which gives you an M pattern reversal. And then we are retesting for the next leg down. So I'm expecting legs down into wherever, really. I'm targeting down here, which is this low, because we're in a range. So We're making ever such slightly higher lows constantly. So I'm looking for a higher low again, somewhere around this area. We have just had a reversal alert long though on the hourly, so it's a mess. The ends are just very, very, very difficult to read at the moment. Very difficult, because it's all to do with the intervention from Japan, and that's something we just don't know until it happens. We had a massively weak yen move at the end of London. Look, it just popped. Didn't actually look at the news to see if wow, the Dow is slashing 2,000 jobs as well. Comcast positive, American Airlines positive, Southwest is a loss, lingering losses on holidays. AT&T picked up. Johnny Walker. So there's a lot of good earnings coming out. A lot of good earnings coming out across the board. So business looks like it's doing well. Just about to go long on the Nasdaq. I really want to bank something today. I can't. Nothing's getting any traction. So from a sentiment perspective, if you filter this down, actually it's better to do it on the retail sentiment. I might put this type of chart up on the retail sentiment page as well, because at the moment we've just got that, but I mean, it's still pretty good. But if you just go bias with the +2s and the -2s, these are the strongest buys and sells. So at the moment, Aussie dollar CAD, 92% of the market is short on Aussie CAD at the moment. Whoops, wrong one. 92% of the market is short on the Aussie CAD at the moment. I missed my buy stop by a gnat's whisker, look. Just missed me. Again, I don't want to labour this point too much. I've said it a number of times in the live room now, but that is the reason I have the offset, because of these double tops at these 15-minute candle and 5-minute candle intervals. They are hit so often because there's limit orders at those levels. We pushed up, we sold back down again. To defend that sell, they will put limits where they got in. That's where the move down started from. This is what wicks are. Push, 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 push. Sellers take control at that exact point and push back down again. Buyers try to get back above that level. Can't do it. They stop here. So anybody that's short will have limits set to trigger there. Anybody that has seen that happen will also have limits set to trigger there. So with this particular move here, we got a 15-minute candle close. A second 15-minute candle starts. This is the high of the second 15-minute candle. It was bearish. So limits are sitting at these levels, and this is why we get double tops and bottoms, because limit orders trigger. So if you have your stop on the high, you become one of those limits. If you set it above, you're not. You survive double tops, basically. Assuming you want to survive double tops, obviously. And you know, if you get in long, you miss 2 pips. Woohoo! Morning, Franco. Slammed Aussie US 78 pips, 3%. Nice. Held all night till the battle got crazy on resistance. Aussie dollar US. Long Nasdaq. Right, now I want the Dow Jones to go mental and rally. Here we go. Right, so we're basically in sync now. So yeah, going back to sentiment. So Aussie dollar CAD is a good buy at the moment. New Zealand dollar CAD is also a good buy at the moment. So that's the one that got the. Did I not just get an alert on New Zealand dollar CAD? US dollar CAD, Euro CAD, it was the other CADs, wasn't it? So New Zealand dollar CAD, good buy at the moment. So we're pulling back nicely on that one. Obviously, retail is completely short on it. So, this is why I've been longing it. They're just getting stopped out constantly. So we've got target there. We've got target there now. So there's your long. You've just had a reverse alert on M5. Oh, no, you haven't. You're just about to get a reverse alert. So there's a nice long there, New Zealand dollar CAD. Again, this is why I'm building the new EA to test all of this out. Aussie New Zealand buy. Wow. Yeah, see, I'm offside on this Aussie New Zealand at the moment. So I want to be a bit careful because retail is the opposite direction to me on this. Aussie dollar US is a buy. Aussie dollar Swiss is also a buy. Aussie dollar Swiss. Again, buy. Swiss yen and odd yen. Good buys as well. That's gone up nicely today. And odd yen gone up nicely today. Euro US dollar and Euro CAD both buys. So this will be coming down on the US dollar strength, which we will see US dollar weakness coming in now. If those indices are going to crack that high, we'll get some weakness on the US. We've got, looks like a weak euro at the minute. Not too bad, actually. So again, another good buy there. So, whenever you are looking for a long, you buy on a pullback. Any of these would have worked. No RSI extensions on the hourly. You'd need to be on 15 minutes for these. So it's a bit choppy at the moment. But any of these 15-minute pullbacks you could have taken. But if you're going in line with sentiment, obviously. Euro CAD. Do we look at that one? Again, another buy. Euro CAD's right. So this is the one, wasn't it? Euro CAD. 125 RSI, ADR extension today at resistance, support even. Can't talk properly today. So we've got previous day's low and yesterday's low. So yesterday's low has just been taken at 125 ADR. Your reversal, however, is absolutely miles away. So again, this is one of the reasons I'm building this new EA to test price action entries. So things like fractals. 1, 2, 3. That's not a fractal low there, I don't think. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it is a fractal low. Yeah. Yeah. So things like fractal lows for entries, in line with other confirmation. I need a market condition indicator. Direction indicator is sentiment. Market condition indicator is RSI. Signal indicator will be fractals, price action, candlestick patterns, that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be testing. Let's take those fractals off. Most ugly indicator in the world, the fractal. We're just pulling down on the NAS at the minute. We're on an inside bar though, so it's not really going anywhere. Shorts, we've got pound odd, US Swiss, and CAD Swiss. So pound odd is a short, US dollar Swiss, short, CAD Swiss. short. So I'm waiting to get into my next position on this. I've got 2 shorts on at the minute. So I'm just waiting for the next M5 reversal alert, which will be there. And that is 32. That's too close. I'm not going to get on that. So I'm looking for half an ADR to get in on my positions. That is, half an ADR is 33. I might have to take a manual on that. So yeah, that's a really nice looking short at the moment. 94% of the market is long on that. And as you see, I've been shorting it, waiting for that move, which we got yesterday, which I got out on, but got my money stolen by my broker, basically. Not bitter. So just pulled into propulsion. So accumulation, propulsion, retest, add, push, hopefully. Need the Dow on the side though. Hopefully we just don't get chop day today. This looking like it could be a chop day at the moment. Market structure at the moment, however, is long. So we really need to get that high in to have that confirmed. Obviously, the option B that is playing out is a lower high on a market structure shift to the downside. So key area this. Which ORB time is your number 2 on? So that is running the second 15-minute candle. So it runs from 45 to 5, 4:45 to 5 on my broker, which is 2:45 to 3 o'clock UK time. So basically, I'm taking the first 15-minute candle, the second 15-minute candle. Yeah. So what I'm testing here is this is somebody sent me Tom Hurgaard's strategy, which is the school run strategy. Obviously, it doesn't work in the afternoons. I know it will work in the afternoons because we're in the morning in New York, won't it? But basically, he trades a breakout of the second 15 minutes rather than the initial cash balance. So on the NASDAQ, I'm testing that theory. I've done testing on it, and I couldn't find any edge to this bigger than the normal edge on the 15-minute or the 5, 10, 15-minute. Because you are, if you look at them, yeah, there's not actually a lot of difference. But what I find with this second 15-minute one is if we are going to go with a strong trend day that is going to do that, yeah, if you take the second bit of it after the initial breakout, what actually tends to happen on a trend day is that and then that. Yeah. So the initial push, the initial cash balance breakout is much bigger than the previous pullbacks, than the following pullbacks. So what I've found when I was testing was that this was still profitable in the fact that that was still profitable. However, the profitability of the second one wasn't as good. So I think the return on drawdowns were about 2 to 2.5 instead of 3 plus. It was with version 2 I tested it. Hang on. That one. Yeah, so I tested it on the DAX. So you look at the return on drawdown on the second 15, and then look at the return on drawdown on the first 15. First 15 gives you between 2.54 and lots of other numbers down there. I don't think that's actually sorted by return on drawdown. There we go. So yeah, and it's not. So the 15-minute opening range, which is what this is, no, sorry, this is the 5-minute opening range. This one gave you a 5.4 return on drawdown, and obviously down from there, you know, it's all profitable. There's loads, it's all profitable, regardless of what you use as trailers, etc., etc. When you do the 15-minute, which was the 10.15 to the 10.30, I could only get a 1.2 return on drawdown. So it's still profitable, but nowhere near as profitable as the 5 or the 15. The 5 and the 15 both give you majority of your results somewhere between 2.5 to 5 return on drawdown. Much better. But adding it as an extra is still going to add more to your profit. So that's why I'm testing it as an add-on, because the reason I like it is some days, if you have a strong push, yeah, which then becomes a false breakout reversal, yeah, that second 15 minutes is here. So you get into the short here rather than down here somewhere, like today. So today is an exact example of why I like having this on there and why I think it might be beneficial to use it in conjunction with the first. If this move that we got into on the opening range break short today is a false move and we're going to go higher, instead of me getting into the move here, I'm getting into the move here. So that's the way I see the advantage, rather than just trading it on its own. But that was just my testing. I haven't done thorough testing on it, to be honest. So it could do with more testing. But to be, you know, it doesn't matter which one you use. If you use the 5, you use the 10, you use the 15, the second 15. I've even tested the 1.5 hour. So the 1 hour 15 to the 1 hour 30. That works. All ranges break, but the initial opening range is always the most profitable. And whether you use the 5-minute, which is that, or you use the 15, which is what I'm using, they both work just as well. Some days will work better, some will work worse, depending on which one you use. The 5 today, if you'd used the 5, you had an easy 1-to-1. And as you saw today, I just took a tiny little loss on the initial 5. So yeah, I just find, because if you're going to go with it, the days that you really make your money with this strategy is when you get those trend days in. If chop days like this, you just don't make money. But trend days like that, you want to get in on a trend as fast as possible. And you get 2 to 3 of these a week quite often. Yeah, if you look at a daily candle, yeah, that one, not so much. That one, that worked. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we got a nice profit on that yesterday. Not actually a nice profit, a bit of profit on that yesterday. But these, you know, starting from there that week, massive win, massive win, massive win. Yeah, massive win. False breakout, second 15-minute range, massive win. Yeah. You need to test this. You need to see this yourself. You need to get the EA. You need to put it in the strategy test. You need to watch price unfold. You need to use the 5-minute range. Then you need to run it and watch it for a month, 2 months. Watch it visually happening in front of your eyes. Then set it to the 15. Watch that unfold. See what happens. Set it to the second 15. Watch that unfold and see what the advantages and disadvantages of that are. And use the ones that you will feel more comfortable with. At the end of the day, as I said, in my testing of literally 100,000 variations, 2,500 variations there I've tested on that particular strategy. 2,385 of that 2,500 are profitable. 2,400. So there's 15 variations on my testing there that didn't work. So it doesn't, that's what I keep saying, with this strategy, it doesn't matter. Pick one. They're all profitable. The SRS, I tested only 150 of them. That's what I say. I haven't done totally thorough testing on it. But out of those 150, 80 of them are profitable. The 5, 10, 15, 1,500 runs, 1,462 profitable. So it doesn't really matter which you pick. Okay, short again. So the long stopped me out with a small loss, flip short. So this is the market structure that I was just saying is potentially unfolding, is the low run out to the downside, which is what we initially started on the DAX, on the Dow. So this might be a chop day today. Very deep, very, very deep pullback. You can see from the market reversal alerts indicator, the market is not directional today. It's in confusion. So hopefully we don't get a chop day. But again, here, opening range 1 gets me in if this is going to push, and opening range 2 gets me in with a second position as we challenge the lows and hopefully flush out those lows. So when we get that flush, I've got 1, 2 short, which gives me a nice profit. Certainly going, isn't it? US dollar is going to be pumping hard at the moment. If you've got US dollar CAD long, no, it's not. Well, I say hard. That's not really hard, is it? US dollar is going hard. We've obviously got a strong Canadian dollar at the moment as well. So US dollar CAD is being held back because of the Canadian dollar strength. So if US dollar is pumping hard, pound US dollar should be coming down very nicely, which means I should have a decent amount of profit now starting to build in there. It's good. Franco was in the house of pain yesterday, got cocky, took chances, lost big, and did some shuffling and pulled out a winning day. It's been great not trading on painkillers. I quite fancy trading on painkillers. Afternoon dances. Logging in from Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. What have you got? 48k, 128k? I'm joking. I've no idea what the speeds of the internet are like in Mongolia, but I can't imagine they're as fast as here. Luke, I send my respects to Chiggins Khan. Don't know, it must be an inside joke. My internet, I don't know what my speed is at the moment. I like my speed in the UK. Can I crack 400? Can we get 400? Any advances on 380? 385, 385, 385, 385. We've got 385. I have had 400. 385, not bad. I never get why your upload speed is so crap compared to your download speed. Surely it's a two-way pipe, isn't it? If I can get down 385, why can't I get up 385? I don't understand. Doesn't make sense, does it? So $100 loss on the NAS so far this afternoon. I think I've got quite a tight stop running at the moment. Yeah, I've got 40 running at the moment, and I'm trading straight away. Because most people download, not upload. It's where they need to have the most bandwidth available. Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose, yeah. Whereas I am actually uploading because I'm streaming. So I quite like a bigger upload. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with the quality of the stream. I'm streaming in 1440p with 30 meg. 30 meg's a lot if you think about it. It's more to do with the speed your PC can kick out the stream than anything. Dances best in the neighborhood, much better than Russian and Kazakhstan. Yeah. Kazakhstan. That's where Borat's from, isn't it? Yakshimesh. Capped at 100 megabytes per second. That's still pretty good, 100. You don't need much more than that. You know, how quickly can you download a web page, right? If a web page on average is maybe 1 meg, 2 meg, and you've got 100 megabyte connection, you know, you don't really need anything more than 100. You can stream very easily on 10, 15 meg. But I'm on Virgin, and basically when I started on Virgin, I signed up initially with their, I think it was a 100 meg package. And since I've been with Virgin, which is now 4 years, literally every year they just chuck another 100 meg on. So I'm up to pretty much 400 meg now. Not that I'm ever going to use it, but just means that everybody in the house can literally stream games live and just not bat an eyelid. Even Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is over 100 meg. It's crazy. Good man Wolves, we're just messing with you. Yak modems work great. Yes. Is there such a thing as a Yak modem? I want to see. No, just normal modems. There aren't any Yak modems, unfortunately. There is a Yak, a plane called a Yak, but there's not a modem. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? A modem on the back of a Yak. Right, so we're approaching what should be an invalidation of the lows if we're going to put in a bearish market structure. We should take that low out. If we are not going to take that low out, it means we are contracting into a symmetrical triangle, which means this thing could break either way and just be a chop day. The Dow is doing the same pretty much. So symmetrical triangle forming on the Dow. Not very clean symmetrical triangle, but it is. Obviously, market structure is a little bit different on the Dow, but come on, Dow. Let's help it down. What's the S&P up to? S&P is looking pretty similar. Oops. So propulsion gap. Hopefully we'll just keep the buyers at bay and we'll pop from here. We'll see. It's called AOL. AOL is that was the very, very first internet provider I had, America Online. It was the only one available, so that's why I had them. But AOL, back in the 90s. Was it 90s? Yeah, it was 90s. I'm sure there's a way to fit a Starlink terminal onto a horse or a mule, yeah. Judging by the profits that Tesla have just made, I should imagine they'll be launching a few more of those. 1995, yeah. I want to hear that. I want to hear the noise. I want to hear the noise. This is what I had to put up with. This is what I had to put up with in the 90s. You lot don't know you're living. Finally, connected. And then it would just drop out and you'd have to do it again. That's what my Commodore 64 used to sound like when it was loading games, and my Atari ST as well. Tape loading games. 15 minutes you sit there, tape loading a game off of a cassette, and then it loads up on the screen and crashes, and you're like, you have to load it again. And then these things called 5 1/4 inch floppy disks came out, which could store 48K, and you're like, They loaded in seconds. A whole 48k. So we progressed from tapes to the 5.25-inch floppy disk. There you go. That was my drive, the Commodore 64 floppy disk drive. That's what I used to load my games on. And they sell for 63 quid. I think the entire console cost me about 40. I used to have a box like that as well. SimCity, I probably had that. IBM Tandy. Disc 2 as well, because you couldn't fit a game on one disc because it was only 48k or 128. I think we went up to 256 before we actually started going into mediums that actually you could use. And then we had, the 3.25-inch discs we went down to then, these ones, 3.5-inch rather. I think we're getting up to like 256k now. This is proper storage, that 256. My watch has got more storage than all of the computers I had in my youth put together. More memory, more RAM, faster processors. That's my watch. You've got mail. Yeah, I remember. AOL. You've got mail. Have I? I don't know anybody with the internet. Who sent me a mail? Russian brides. They've been around for a long time. Russian brides were invented for AOL. That's what you used to do in those days. You used to go online and you used to hang around in chat rooms because there was nothing else to do online. The internet was a handful of pages that looked very much like this. Most of the pages that I used to frequent, no, that's not that. Oh God, I bet I can't find his website. There we go. Most of the web pages that I used to visit looked like this, and they still had things like Yahoo. So the only thing you could do was go to chat rooms and talk to complete strangers. If you were lucky, if you could get a dial-up connection, obviously, because AOL, there was also a queue you had to join. So you'd sit there dialing up for ages, waiting in the queue. Then you'd finally get on and literally talk in text to people. That was my life in the 90s. That's why I became a programmer, to make everything better. Spectrum Plus 2, yeah, I had one of those as well. I had an Atari ST. The first computer I had was an Apple IIe, green screen. This was my first computer. One of these bad boys, Apple IIe. Look at the 5.25. We were rich, right? We had 2 of those. So they've got 3. So this person is probably a millionaire. We had 2. Most people only had 1. So if you wanted to load a game into this thing, and obviously you could play games on these things, not very well, you had to swap the discs out. So you had to take it out of this one, and then you had to put another one in. We didn't. We had 2 drives. It's amazing. We used to play games like that. And then we got really advanced and had a color monitor. We went from green to actually having blues and reds as well. It was so advanced. Amazing. Look at that. That's got about 64 colors. That's 64-bit. Oh, that's the Apple BE. Yeah, that was super advanced. Look, they even invented a joystick. And they made the drive a little bit rounder. Oh, God, that was posh. That was how I started. Castle Wolfenstein. I remember it well. This was such a good game. Attic Attack. That was cutting edge, that was. Attic Attack. I used to play that for hours. And then we advanced to the Spectrum and the Commodore, and everything got really exciting. Anyway. Still short, NASDAQ. Still haven't managed to make new lows. We just put in a higher high, higher low. We are now putting in a higher high, higher low. If we can get a lower high, we are an outside bar. which hopefully will be bearish. Commodore 64 with a tape cassette. Apple II GS. Yeah. Dave, Dances with Wolves. Am I familiar with ICT? Yes. What's my take on his approach? Don't know. Each to their own. Not for me. Too complicated. Make me fall asleep. We've got an outside bar just formed on the NASDAQ, and we've got an outside bar also formed on the Dow. So hopefully this is the start of the new low. 30 seconds left on this candle. We need this to close as an outside bar. Looks pretty safe at the moment. Oh, blimey. Second short. That was a nice bit of slippage, look. We just had a pop on the US for some reason. US Senate. Few issues require more bipartisanship, more cooperation, serious-mindedness, and failed to pay our debts on time, debt ceiling. Okay, so we got a nice strong push on the US dollar, so we should have the pound US dollar coming down nicely. So I'm pretty much break even on the pound US. I'm going to start banking some of this. Leave it for the minute. SWAT and T2 on Commodore 64. Yeah. Brian, don't stir the pot. Yeah. Dances. I don't have a problem with ICT. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with anybody. I just don't believe in following anybody that cannot trade in front of you live and show you what he's doing, why he's doing it, and showing money working. Yeah, that's all. I don't have any problem with anybody. I just would not follow someone that doesn't show me their P&L. We just got an ADR. I don't show you my P&L, but I do show you me trading live, and I show you what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and then you can make your own mind from there, can't you? That was gold. Just hitting ADR. Strong US dollar. I think there's going to be more coming out of this. There's something going on, which is driving the US dollar up at the moment. So gold is a buy at the moment. So we're getting down to where you might want to start looking for longs if you're trading gold. And also the only, and you know, no, again, nothing to do with ICT. I don't have a problem with Mike, but I have friends in the banking sector who work, and one of them has worked on multiple banking desks, including market maker desks and speculative desks. And he's never heard of IPDA, the interbank price delivery system, or whatever it's called, that his strategy kind of revolves around. And I have to ask the question of myself, should I follow something that the people that work in the banks have never heard of, that apparently controls the Forex markets? You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but IPDA, or whatever it's called, I can't remember the exact thing, but I don't know anyone in the sector that knows of it. So all FX transactions interbank go over a system called OTC, which is over the counter, which is why you don't know what's going on, because they're over the counter transactions interbank, and there is no system controlling it. If there was, we would know what the transactions are, as we do in the futures market. Everything in the futures market is logged through the CME, so we know exactly what's happening, which is why I have on the website a page for commitment of traders, because I can see every week exactly the positioning of every market participant and what their positioning is. You can't see that. And again, there's no algorithm controlling this that I'm aware of anyway. But the strategy is sound. His strategy is all about hunting liquidity, isn't it? We know that happens. That's the same thing. But you know, there's a lot of recycled stuff, and you'll learn this as you do courses, you'll learn, this thing I've got on my chart is called a wide range bar. Some people call it a propulsion candle. He calls it a fair value gap. Call it what you like. The guy that came up with this 25 years ago came up with it way before he did. The stop hunt strategy, if you like, came from Steve Malraux. Lots of people use the same thing. It's just some people become more famous because of the channels they advertise on and the way they put themselves out there. I have 30 to 50 people in my room. Nobody knows about me. So, I might become one of them in the future. I don't know. But you got to try loads of strategies. They all will give you something that will help your trading. I'm just very long in the tooth and I do what I do. So I just don't do it myself. I'm a very, the difference between me and a lot of people that put out courses and do that sort of stuff is I'm a programmer and I'm a logical thinker. I'm not religious. So if I can't prove it with science, oh, blimey, I've just turned the volume up for YouTube, didn't I? If I can't prove it with science and I can't prove it with logic, I'm not interested. That's the way I am as a human being. So that's what I do. So everything I do when I develop a strategy is back tested using tick data and multiple years. And if it doesn't work, it gets thrown away. And that's the way I've always worked. And a lot of the stuff I see on courses and things, I look at it and go, well, I've already learned that. They just called it something different. Or I look at it and go, well, that's not how the banking system works. So, a lot of people, and again, this is the thing I don't like about these guys at the moment out there, all pushing volume profile. Again, I've got nothing against Nirav that does the. I'll probably find him if we go to my channel. He'll probably pop up if I refresh. See if an advert comes up. No, it's a different bloke, but you get Nirav coming up from I can't remember his course or whatever it is. Saying things like you can't use candlesticks. People that use candlesticks are just throwing their money away. They're burning it. It's just a load of rubbish, blah, 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 blah. Claiming to work for a central bank. They don't use any of that. I know for a fact because I know guys that work there. So if you've worked from a central bank and you're coming out of there using footprint charts, you didn't learn them in the bank, I can guarantee you that. So what you've done as a job in the past has got nothing to do with the way that you're teaching. You're selling courses as far as I'm concerned. Gurus have destroyed lives, as Franco's just said. Best guru a book? I kind of agree. What am I doing? Trying to click. I'm clicking on the wrong stuff. Anyway, I don't want to be on there. The best guru is you. Learn it. Do it. Chart time. That's the only way you will earn a living doing this, is by doing this. You can't, it's not a theoretical job. A book cannot teach you how to trade. A book can teach you how the market works. It can teach you what candlestick patterns are. It can teach you the logic behind the relative strength index indicator and the mathematics that goes into the calculation of the line, but it can't teach you to trade. You have to go and do it. It's not a job where you have a mechanical thing like a pilot. When you're sitting on the runway, you have a book in front of you and a checklist of X number of things to go through. And when you've checked all those off, you can turn the engines off and taxi away. With this, if I have read all of Al Brooks's books and all of Larry Williams's books, I have a complete understanding of market structure, of candlestick patterns, and all sorts of other things. I still don't know how to trade. I'm a very knowledgeable person. But when you place the order in the market, emotions take over. So, there's a lot of courses out there which will teach you a lot of really good stuff, but it's utterly useless because you put that good stuff in the hands of 10 different people, you'll get 10 different results. You've got to go and just trade. And the thing that got drummed into me by one of my mentors was chart time. You need 1,000 hours at least sitting watching this. And the way to do it is not by spending 1,000 hours sitting here for 1,000 hours. The way to do it is to stick something in a back tester, yeah, and watch it. So if you sit here on an M5 chart, this is going to be a really slow EA, but sit here and watch this. Watch it go up and down. See what happens. Yeah. See how structure breaks. Yeah. See how it goes up and down. See what happens in high volatility times when the New York Stock Exchange opens. Yeah. And then stop that, go out into the 4 hour and watch the 4 hour running and see what happens over a period of a week, and see it over and over again. And you will subconsciously burn market structure into your brain. And the next time you see it doing that, you'll go, well, last time it did that, it did that, because it was actually just a pullback on that move there. But the only way you'll teach yourself that is by watching it. And this is what the strategy tester is so good for. Just watch price go along. Yeah, not that fast, but you'll learn way more doing that than you will reading a book. ADR, I spent weeks studying price movement on the daily charts to come up with the average daily range theory. And it's based on technical fact. These levels with these percentages are based on historical fact. This is not sometimes when it comes down to here and you see that happen, this might happen. The fact is that 58% of the time it stays within these two lines. Fact. I know it because I've tested it for 25 years and it's fact. That's the sort of person I am. I only work with facts. And if something can't be proved, I'm not interested. It's got to do what I say, and it's got to do it over and over and over and over again. RSI, the reason I use the RSI on the 4 hour chart is because it proves to me over and over and over again, every time we get up here, we get that. And the reason is not because the RSI is there. The reason is because the market participants have to exit their positions. A lot of people go, oh, the RSI gets extended, you need to sell it. Why? I don't know, because the wiggly line's at the top. No, you need to understand what's going on behind these things on the chart. Why is this thing up here? Because there's been a buying frenzy. What happens in a central bank when there's been a buying frenzy? They're sitting on an absolute pot of cash in profit. To get that profit out of the market, what do they have to do? Sell those positions. How do they do that? By hitting the sell button. If they hit the sell button with $1 million worth of positions, what do you think is going to happen to price? It's going to come down. So the reason the RSI is up there is because we're expecting a profit take move. Understanding that is what makes you successful, not the fact that there's a bearish engulfing there. There's a bearish engulfing all over this chart. There's loads of them. None of them work. Some of them will. But you'll read books that will suddenly go, and things will start to click. And that's what you need to do. You need to do loads of courses. My course, which is on my website, which is all free, is basically a dump of everything I've done in my courses over 15 years that I found useful, and everything that I didn't, I've thrown it away. So if you watch these 5 videos, which will take you about 8 hours or 10 hours, you'll get all of my knowledge, and then you take the bits that you like. If you don't like it, dump it. I don't care. It's, not everything's going to twig with everybody, is it? There's no rights and wrongs at all in this industry. It's just what it is, and you need to find your own way of picking your way through it. Find your own way of making money. Opening range breakouts, yeah. This strategy is proven. Many years. I've put this in a back tester. I've tested variations of this. System permutation tests have been performed on the opening ranges of the DAX and the NASDAQ over 100,000 times by me, with different stops, trailers, targets, you name it, I've tested it. There's probably 5% of them that don't work. The rest of them all make money. But they will all make money in varying degrees. And I don't care. I just need to get in the market. And I know that this is a good way to get in. Look at me now. I'm short on the market. I've got 2 positions in profit. And if this carries on going down, I'm going to bank a nice profit today. If it goes up, I'm going to stop out with a small profit or a break even. That's what I know. What I don't know is how far this thing's going to come down today if it goes. It could go to 200 ADR. 12% of the time it does. Is it one of those 12% days? I've no idea. Is today going to be one of those? Or is today going to be one of those? There's nobody in this planet that can tell you that. Doesn't matter how many books or courses you take, nothing can predict the future. So you have to get in, hold on, and wait. And that's literally all you can do. It's going to do that, it's going to do that, and it's going to move through time. The only thing you need to worry about. Get in, manage your risk, and let your winners go. That's the thing that everybody dies on, which is human nature to take money, isn't it? Someone puts money in front of you, you want to grab it. I'm sitting here right now thinking, I can bank right now about $400. I'm not going to, because that could turn into 400, that could turn into 400, and that could turn into 400 for all I know. So I'm going to give the market an opportunity to pay me 1,200. See if it works. If it doesn't work, worst case scenario is I'm going to go into a bit more drawdown and break even on some stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen. It's not in my control, is it? There is no book out there that's going to teach you that, or course, or person. You know, you got to learn it yourself. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, exactly, as Franco's just said. All true, but book knowledge saves you from falling for frauds. Yeah. That is why I think you've got to do a load of education, because until you have bought a course with a strategy that claims an 80% strike rate, traded it and got nowhere near an 80% strike rate, and realized that the back testing that they did was over a 2-month period in 1998 when the market was in the right spot for that strategy. Next time you look at a course like that, you'll go, I've heard this before. And after you've heard it before and still bought it 10 times, you will stop buying it because you've heard it before. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to stop that. I saw an advert come through from a guy called begins with a D. I can't remember his name, but he created a system called Agimat. Dennis, his name is, and the strategy looks great. I bought Agimat and I joined a group, and I spent ages with this group and this indicator that drew arrows, and it claimed to predict the future. And he just emailed me this week saying he's releasing something at the end of this month that again works on machine learning. I'm pretty sure if I got that EA and picked it apart, I would be able to tell you what indicators are drawing those arrows. There's a lot of them out there that are literally just recycling indicators. And the new one that he's coming out with, what it does, I don't know if it's good or not. I have no idea. It might be brilliant. But what it does is when you're sitting here like this, it projects into the future what it thinks candlesticks might be like. Yeah. Do you reckon that might be using ATR? Knowing what I know, the only way to predict what the range is going to be in the future is by using the range in the past. So I'm pretty sure you'll find that there is an ATR calculation going on in that EA. And all it does is it draws lines on there. I can tell you what the projected range is going to be. It's written up there. Zigzagging, it could be, yeah, Agimat reversal, zigzag indicator. Yeah, that could be, I don't know. But everything you see out there is recycled. And all these people selling stuff, they help you understand the market. So if you've got something, for example, that may be based on zigzag, you're starting, if it uses zigzag, what it will be doing is drawing arrows at zigzag points, probably using something like the semaphore indicator or semaphore X or something. But what it will do is, as you're trading with this thing, you will see market structure playing out. and you will suddenly get a better understanding of market structure. But you will have bought an indicator or an EA for $200 to find out. And that's what we do. That's the way we learn. And that's why I put my course together, because I've got fed up buying stuff. So I sat down, I took it all, I went through the whole lot again over a period of months, and I deleted everything that I knew was crap because of what I'd been through. And I ended up with a handful of stuff that made sense and I'd actually made money out of, but not made enough out of. So I put them all together, and that's where I came up with my strategy. And it took me a long time to get there. But you'll have to do the same. Everybody has to do the same. You've got to try stuff. If you don't try it, you never know it's not any good, will you? Unfortunately, that's the only way to do it, is to live trade it. Or you can obviously demo trade it, same thing. Picking out the pieces here and there, hopefully my learning curve will be shorter. Given all the access to the internet. Yeah. As long as you've got the internet, you can learn anything. Yeah, until Bob just said, until someone picks up the phone, and we're talking about dial-up. So that's the worst thing. If you're connected to the internet, I was connected to the internet doing whatever I was doing on my computer, and my mum picks up the phone to make a phone call. The internet drops out. It's like, oh, God. So then you've got to wait for mum to finish the phone call, and then you can dial back up into the internet. But then you get back in that queue, and you're halfway through a conversation with some whoever you were talking to. No idea who you're talking to, obviously. There's nothing, no pictures. You couldn't send a picture. That'd be stupid. How would you get a digital picture for a start? We didn't have digital pictures. I could have scanned on a scanner a Polaroid into a file that probably would have taken about an hour to upload if I wanted to send someone a picture. How far we've come in 20 years or whatever. Ed Ponzi books opened my brain, helped me greatly. Yeah, I don't know who Ed Ponzi is, but read stuff, read books. Larry Williams and Al Brooks are the two. There's three authors you need to read: Larry Williams, Al Brooks, and where's his book gone? Oh, I put it downstairs. Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. Trading in the Zone is one of the best books on psychology. And I would also add in now Tom Hugard's book as well. His book is really good. I've read Tom's book. I bought Tom's book. I'm always reading trading books. New trading books come out. Tom's is really good. Not about trading strategy. It's all about you. That's what it's all about. It's all about you. He's totally right in everything he says. I just can't trade like him. He does it too fast. He's in and out in 2 seconds. I can't do that. And I certainly don't like trading £300 a point or whatever it is he trades. He's very, very, very good at what he does, but there's very few people, I think, that will ever be able to replicate it. What settings to use for the RSI? It's the 14 median. The reason I use the median is because the median is the closest to the RSI, to the TDI, Traders Dynamic Index Indicator. So if you've got a TDI, I don't think I've got a TDI on here. No. But if you've got a TDI, basically the really complicated, basically a TDI is this with another load of lines on it. It's got about 5 lines on it. And it was meant to be, it's by Dean Malone. It was meant to be a clean up your charts. This is all you need to know type indicator, as they all are. But at the heart of it was relative strength, which is where BTMM got Dean Malone's indicator, and he taught a strategy to do with shark fins, and all a shark fin is a extension and reversal at an RSI. So again, like I say, all recycled. Everything's recycled. There is very few things that work. selling high, buying low. You need a tool to measure that. And risk management and market structure. If you know about that and that, there's very little else you need to know apart from how the market actually works under the hood, which is, I think, quite important. Stopped out on NASDAQ again. Micro profit. No, NASDAQ's just not working today. I'm going to make about $30 loss today. Just can't get in. Look. Stopped out, bought, stopped out, shorted, profit, shorted, stop out. It's just not getting enough movement, unfortunately, this afternoon. So I don't think I don't think we're going to get anywhere on the NASDAQ. You watch this collapse now. Now it's stopped me out. Again, that's a propulsion gap add. So that propulsion move, sellers adding onto that propulsion move. Potentially, if there's any left. Aussie dollar CAD, ADR. So there's your Aussie dollar CAD return to origin underway. So all these CADs, anybody take any of these yesterday that I said, these CAD shorts? CAD longs rather. All playing out today. Short one again. So I'm having one more go. Back in. Love your course, website data. Cool. Agimat, yeah, we talked about that. I don't have a problem with Agimat. You know, it's just I couldn't make it work. The problem, I think, with me is because of the way I am with my logical brain, programming head, I need to understand how something works. It's not good enough for me to drive a car. I need to know how the engine works. What are the components in the engine that make that thing fire, that make it go forward? I need to understand how the gearbox works. I just need to know how stuff works. I'm one of those people. When someone gives me an EA and says, choose set file 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I put it on a chart and it makes profit, I ask why. How's it making profit? What's it doing? Oh, I'm not telling you. Secret. It's a machine learning, artificial intelligence. What indicators is driving it? Yeah, there's no indicators. It's machine learning. It's artificial intelligence. It's the most advanced robot on the planet. Why are you selling it for $49? Well, because I want everybody in the world to take advantage of it. If that doesn't ring an alarm bell, nothing will. And that's what all these EAs out there are doing. My EAs, I put them up on the marketplace. People buy them. I do 2-hour videos explaining the logic that is driving it, what every setting does, why it works, how it works, ORB, the underlying logic behind why this is doing what it's doing, what the banks are doing here to make that candlestick happen. I explain absolutely everything about everything that I build because I have to know it, to test it, to have faith in it. And everything else you buy out there is just something else repackaged. This strategy was taught to me 10 years ago by someone else. It's not new. All I've done is build something to automate it for me because I can't be asked to do it manually. And this can do it quicker and more efficiently than I ever will. You can build your own. Get a programmer to build it. I've told you how the logic works. I've told you exactly what the strategy is. So you don't have to buy mine. You can go and get it built. If you can get it built for less than $99, brilliant. Otherwise, just buy mine because it does it. But, you know, those other EAs out there, all the stuff out there you find on the indicators, they never tell you what it's doing. It draws, the ones that get me are the ones that draw an arrow on the chart, like that. Yeah. Market reversal alerts arrow retest is a retest of that zone to create an M pattern reversal, fully explained. A lot of other indicators are the Swedish, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to make a silly name up. I can't. The German Frankfurter reversal indicator. There you go. When this arrow forms, it means there are lots of sellers in the market and you should take a short. Why is that arrow form? I'm not telling you. I can't trade that. You've got to tell me why that appears. Otherwise, you know, and if you draw this on the chart, another really good one as well is what's it called? It's a channel indicator. I can't remember the name of it now. But there's this really good looking indicator that draws this channel with a line in the middle. It's a bit like a Bollinger, but it adjusts itself. And you look at it on a back test, it's got 99% strike rate. It's amazing. I can't remember what the thing's called, but it looks fantastic in back testing. You stick that on a 1 minute chart and you watch it unfold. Yeah, it looks amazing. If you go back in time, you'll find that all these lines it drew on the chart that have these beautiful reversals, when the reversal happened, it was up here. And as this thing draws in the future, it adjusts all these lines down. It's not the Donchian, no. Donchian is actually drawing highs and lows. That's a good indicator of the Donchian. TMA, triangular moving averages. No, it's not those. I can't remember what it's called. Keltner. No, it's not Keltner. It's not an off-the-shelf one. It's something somebody bought, somebody made. Let me open my robo. I might have it in my robo. But yeah, you back test it. When you're actually back testing it in moving forward, the thing is criminal. It actually redraws everything. So all these, it puts all these. Oh my god, that's massive. It puts all these things on the chart, but they're absolutely huge. The way that it moves the goalposts for you, it's just an awful. It's just a con. But a lot of people trade it and go, "Wow, that's amazing," and they use it for weeks, and they suddenly go, "Why am I not making money?" What I did was stick it in a back tester and zoom right out so I could see what was happening. Trade view regression tool. No, it's not that. Let me just see if I've got it in here. It'll jump out at me if I've got it. It's not the vortex. No. Step direction. No, it's not that. No, I haven't got it. I've got rid of it because it's a load of rubbish. But yeah, whatever it was awful. What was that other indicator I was looking for earlier? I can't remember. It's not a CCI channel. Is it a CCI channel? No, that's the proper CCI. Slope direction line, that sounds bad. Oh, it's a moving average, it changes color. Probably bought that, I don't know. Anyway, you get the point. If I could get the ORB to work for me without FIFO strike, that would be great. Oh, well, you can. I mean, you can. If you've got the MT4 version, you can just set it to go long or short. The other thing you can do, Brian, is set your inputs. Use a percent opening range stop and set that to less than 100. Anything under 100, yeah, will set your stop loss below the opposing pending order. So by the time you get to that pending order, you will have stopped out. That way you cannot hedge. If you set that to anything under 100, you can't hedge. So the FIFO rule. Oh, you can't place pending orders. Can you not place pending orders either way? That would be a problem, yeah. In which case, then you'd have to use MT4 and you'd have to literally just set this to pick a direction. But that defeats the whole object of the strategy. You can't do that because the whole purpose and the edge of the strategy is that you get in with price momentum and you don't know which way that's going because you are not a mind reader. So that doesn't work, does it? I'm going to have to bank something soon. Maybe Fourier extrapolation. No, it's not that. Argument is supposed to be a neural network, but a half trend perfectly replicates the signals, Luke. Okay, yeah. And that's the thing, you know, a neural network. Right? What's this neural network do that the banks don't know about? It's when someone says they've got the secret sauce that only the banks know. Piss off. I just stopped out on the NAS again. Break even. This Nasdaq's just a total nightmare today. It's just not. It's not interested, is it? 33-cent loss. It's just not interested today. It's too volatile and it's too choppy. It's just not able to get in anywhere. So I'm out of the DAX. So I think I'm going to just get out of everything. I'm not going to trade it any more today. There's no point. It's not going anywhere. It's 4:30. We've had 2 hours basically, and we've literally just not going anywhere apart from if you traded the 5-minute opening range, you've probably stopped out. You might be in profit depending what your trailer was. I've got a tight trailer on at the moment, so hence me stopping out. But if you had a wide trailer, you might have made a little bit today. Yeah, I've never heard of that half trend. But yeah, again, everything is just replicated. Albrox is good, and so is the zone. It took a horsewhip to me. Yeah. Alexander Elder. Don't know who that is either. Aussie CAD 5-minute reversal at 4-hour wide range bar. Aussie CAD. I'm on that. 5-minute reversal. That's obviously been invalidated. I haven't got a 5-minute reversal alert. We haven't had one yet. The reversal would have been. Yeah, the reverse alert was there. Hourly is probably the better one. So we're in here basically. But that this is the real propulsion gap. So you've got the accumulation break there. That's where they added on the retest. This is not a break of an accumulation. This is just part of that move. There was no real accumulation before it. So this is where I would really look at testing, which is now really. So 5-minute, next 5-minute reversal alert, I think is probably a valid one to take at ADR. That was a bit early. Not that you'd know it, obviously, but if you're smart and study hard, logic takes over to stop the pain of losing. Yeah, it's all about that. New Zealand dollar CAD looking good to long. Yeah. So New Zealand dollar CAD I like a long on, definitely. Still a good long New Zealand CAD. It's the biggest, it's the best long out there at the moment. Everything's on side. Everything's on side at the moment on that. So yeah, buy. I would much rather buy there. But next reversal alert long is also a good one. New Zealand unhedged. It's because of that yen. Do you know what? I'm going to get rid of that yen. I've had enough of that New Zealand dollar yen. It's not going anywhere, and I'm just fed up with it. So I'm getting out. There's no point in tying exposure up in it. Nothing's going anywhere still. So New Zealand dollar CAD, I can't really take it because I am double exposed on the CAD already. Now I've got my US dollar CAD long on, but New Zealand dollar CAD, yes, I definitely like that as a long. JC, grab that US dollar CAD when it hit the 100% ADR and saw the first imbalance bar. Already jumped out of it. Super scalper. Euro CAD. Yeah, EuroCAD's nicely extended. This is in a really good spot, EuroCAD, at the moment. So this area here, yeah, we've marked about in here as well before, but this is a really good zone. So this is the propulsion move. This is the real propulsion move, this one. So there's your propulsion candle. This is more of a leg up, although it is a big move. So obviously we've had this been respected now 3 times. So we tested it, bought, 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 testing it. You have to ask yourself the question, if we keep testing this level, at some point it's going to fail. So again, it could well bounce straight back up. I'd like to test it back up into that propulsion gap there, but that's not really a propulsion gap either. It's just part of that move. It's accelerated part of that move and accelerated through the propulsion gap. Yeah. Buyers tried to add in there. The sellers just completely overran them. Buyers puked, got out their positions with a break even because that's where they entered. So they got out at break even. That's what caused that. So that isn't necessarily somewhere that's going to get retested and hold. It's just they ran through the buyers there. But yeah, very nicely extended. 4 hours not there yet, but good spot to buy it. Next reversal alert would be a good entry. Liquidity is drying up, yeah. Banks invented it, then fired the guy who really invented it. I don't know what it is, Franco. You probably said that about half an hour ago. I'm just catching up on, on the chat. Banks invented everything. Oh, this pound US dollar is killing me as well now. You look at this price action. Look what came after the following day. We haven't tested this yet. I'm working on building a stable trading space Wi-Fi hotspot, considering how I connect now. I'm amazed at making any money. One thing you need, stable internet and a good Wi-Fi backup and a good cellular backup, basically. Is there a way to set trailing stop loss on the ORB to the width of the candle range? No, there isn't. The ORB, you can only set your stops, your trailing stops at a pip. So you can adjust that though. I mean, so if you said we opened at 700, I want to trail by 700, you can do that. And obviously you can adjust all of this and it will just carry on and adjust accordingly. The only things you can't adjust are these timings because these are stored when the EA is initialized, and they are used to calculate the opening ranges. So if you add the EA after the opening ranges have actually happened, it won't trade. It will trade the next day. But anything else that is on tick, which is to do with trading stops, break evens, adding, all that sort of stuff, that will all work fine. But no, I have thought of putting that in as an add-on, basically. But I have tested with ATR and I've tested with ADR, and the problem with trading an opening range with an ATR value is the ATR here, is thrown out by that. When you get to here, the ATR is thrown out because you're taking a small range and a big range. So what you get is an interim range. By the time you get down to here, the ATR is actually working like this. But by the time you get down to here, quite often you are finding price contraction. So your stops are way too wide. So ATR, I couldn't find a way to use it effectively with opening range because the whole purpose is here. The thing goes into a completely different range perspective to what we've been used to the previous. So you could use an ATR, something like an ATR 5. Yeah, so by the time you get within the first half an hour, you've got a fairly accurate ATR. But I didn't really actually see any advantage when I tested. Using a pip range is just as good. So I just scrapped the idea because I couldn't find an advantage. Again, this is me. I tested it. I test everything. And if it doesn't give me an edge and an advantage, I don't use it. Like the moving average stop. I had that in the first version. When I actually did further testing, I actually found that using a fixed stop is better than a moving average stop. Because your moving average will be in a different place dependent on pre-market. Because don't forget, this thing is lagging by a minimum of 9 candles, typically. So when you're using a moving average, you're actually looking at 9 candles ago's price action. That's useless here until we're 10 candles in. So until we're pretty much an hour in, that 9 moving average is actually lagging completely. So if we're above the 9 moving average, for example, here, when we open, we immediately close down below that 9 moving average. So does that mean you want to get out of your trade because we had a flurry to the downside at the open? No, because the cash balance is going in. Of course, it's going to go flurrying in each direction. So the 9MA I've found actually got you out of some trades way before you should have done because you've missed all that because the 9MA got you out. I found a trailing stop at a fixed pip actually gave you much more profit, which is why I got rid of it. Because it's just another complication in something which is really simple, and that is jump on board with the momentum of the market. I've been waiting for price to hit the ADR area and wait for the reversal alert. Working the FTMO challenge. Cool. Yeah, ADR and FTMO. Can't go far wrong. Come on, pound US dollar. Let's get some movement. I haven't managed to bank anything today, so all I've done today literally is get chopped around by the DAX and the NASDAQ. We haven't had any trends at all today. So, and everything that I'm in is literally just pulling back on yesterday's moves. So I'm just moving around in here at the minute. So if I can get $300 or $400 up here today, I will transfer that down there and bag 0.25%. That's really all I'm looking to do. If I can get 0.25% bag today over the next 3 or 4 days, that's me done really. But just struggling to find any price action at the moment. It's just not moving enough. Right, I'm going to call it a day there because we're 4:45 now. I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, 7:50, and I'll be back for the New York session at 2:20 as usual. Yeah, early warning system, as Frank has just said, the 9 EMA. It's not good to get out on, but it's good to say, hang on a minute, I need to start watching this. But there's nothing in the EA that says start watching. You see, the whole idea of an EA is it automates it, not tells you to watch it. If it's going to tell you to watch it, you might as well not use the EA. It's pointless, isn't it? But yeah, I just didn't find any advantage. I tried the 20. I tried everything. I back tested about 15 different EMAs. None of them really worked as well as fixed pip. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50. I'll be back 2:20 as well for the New York session. It's Friday tomorrow. Just be aware of news. Overnight, we've got nothing to be aware of. And nothing until tomorrow afternoon. So there's nothing to worry about. We've got PCE tomorrow afternoon, pre-market. That's it. Overnight, we have got earnings. So again, same as yesterday on these indices. Pay attention to end of day. So what we do tend to find is we didn't get one yesterday. I suppose depends what you class as end of day, but you find you get end of day flurries quite often in earnings, because these earnings that are aftermarket, they get leaked. So we've got Intel and Visa coming aftermarket, but you'll find that there'll be some early positioning ahead of these coming out, and they may come out early as well. There will also be speculative coming on Amex and Chevron tomorrow. So quite often in earnings fortnight, towards the end of the day, you can find a nice move. Trouble is, it's difficult to know how to get onto it. But right, so I'll leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in the Telegram group, and I'll be back tomorrow, same time, and we'll see how we get on tomorrow. But I've had enough today, because the NAS is just doing nothing. So, and everything else is just doing nothing. So hopefully I'll bank something, but we'll see. I'll post it if I do. Okay, have a good one. I will see you tomorrow.